If you're a fan of the golden era of Hollywood but haven't seen the classics I'm about to share, then you're missing out on true cinematic treasures. These 20 must-watch movies from classic Hollywood will take you on a nostalgic journey like no other. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the full video. You might just discover some hidden gems along the way. But before we move forward, comment on the name of your all-time favorite classic Hollywood movie, The Wizard of Oz, 1939. If you've ever dreamed of leaving your hometown and going on a grand, colorful journey, The Wizard of Oz is the perfect film for you. It starts in black and white, showing Dorothy's simple life on a farm, but soon bursts into bright technicolor when she lands in the magical land of Oz. Here, she meets new friends, a scarecrow who wants a brain, a tin man who longs for a heart, and a cowardly lion who hopes to be brave. Together, they follow the yellow brick road, singing catchy songs and learning big lessons about courage and friendship. One reason this movie is a must-watch is its timeless message about home and heart. Even though Dorothy travels to an incredible place, she realizes there's no place like home and the people she loves. Another reason is that the music is unforgettable. Over the Rainbow is a tune that can fill you with hope whenever you hear it. Plus, the characters are so fun and unique that you'll find at least one you can relate to. With magic, music, and heartwarming themes, The Wizard of Oz remains one of the greatest family movies ever made. Gone with the Wind, 1939. Gone with the Wind takes you straight into the American Civil War era, showing both the grand beauty of the South and the hard challenges people faced. The story follows Scarlett O'Hara, a strong-willed woman who refuses to give up even when her world changes overnight. One big reason to watch is the sweeping romance between Scarlett and Rhett Butler. Their fiery arguments and deep passion have kept audiences glued to the screen for decades. But it's not just a love story. It's also about surviving tough times. When war destroys Scarlett's comfortable life, she has to be brave, work the land, and protect her family. This film is famous for its huge sets, detailed costumes, and grand storytelling, making it feel like you're watching history unfold right in front of you. It also brings up important questions about pride, honor, and forgiveness. Even though it's from 1939, it's still considered one of the most epic movies ever made. So why should you watch it? If you enjoy tales of love, war, and human spirit, Gone with the Wind offers all of that and more. It's a classic for a reason, and its memorable lines and iconic scenes will stay with you long after the movie ends. Casablanca, 1942. Casablanca is a movie set during World War II in a place where mysterious travelers and secret deals are common. The main character, Rick, runs a cafe in the city of Casablanca, which is a safe spot for people trying to escape the war. But everything changes when Rick's old flame, Ilsa, walks back into his life. The famous line, "Here's looking at you, kid," comes from this film, and it captures the deep emotions between the two main characters. Why watch it? First, the love story is powerful, but also tragic. Sometimes love means making big sacrifices, and this film shows that in a way that feels real and heartfelt. Second, the setting is so interesting. You get to see people from different backgrounds, each with their own hopes and fears, all coming together in this one cafe. Finally, the movie's theme of doing the right thing, even when it's hard, is still important today. Casablanca may be in black and white, but its heart is full of color. The acting is top-notch, and the music sets the mood perfectly. If you want a classic film that blends romance, drama, and heroism, Casablanca is the perfect choice. Citizen Kane, 1941. Citizen Kane is often called one of the greatest movies ever made, and for good reason. At its core is Charles Foster Kane, a man who starts with nothing and rises to incredible power, only to find himself lonely at the top. The story begins with the mysterious word rosebud, something Kane whispers on his deathbed. A reporter sets out to uncover the meaning behind this word, and the movie unfolds like a detective story. Why is it a must-watch? First, it changed how movies were made by using special camera angles and lighting effects that made everything look dramatic and new. Directors and cinematographers still study these techniques today. Second, the story shows how greed and ambition can shape a person's life, often leading to heartbreak more than happiness. Even though Kane can buy just about anything he wants, what he really needs is love and true friendship. Singin' in the Rain, 1952. Singin' in the Rain is a bright and cheerful movie musical about Hollywood in the 1920s, when films first began to include sound. It follows Don Lockwood, a silent movie star who must adjust to talkies, as films with dialogue were called. Along the way, he meets Kathy, a talented performer with a sweet voice, and Cosmo, his hilarious best friend. Why should you tune in? First, the music and dance numbers are out of this world. From the famous scene of Don singing and dancing in the rain, to the vibrant Broadway ballet sequence, every piece is energetic and joyful. Second, it's a funny story about change. Many silent film stars struggled to speak and sing on camera, which led to some silly situations. The movie turns these real-life problems into comedic moments that'll have you grinning from ear to ear. Another reason to love this film is the message about staying true to your art and having faith in yourself. It's a Wonderful Life, 1946. It's a Wonderful Life is a movie that warms your heart and might even bring tears to your eyes. It tells the story of George Bailey, a good man who wishes he'd never been born after facing a series of setbacks. That's when an angel shows up to show George how different the world would be without him. The reason this movie is a must-watch is how it reminds us that every person's life matters. Sometimes we feel small or unimportant, but It's a Wonderful Life teaches us that even small acts of kindness can change someone's world. When George sees how sad and difficult life would be for his friends and family if he never existed, he realizes he has so much to be grateful for. Around Christmas time, many families make it a tradition to watch because it's a beautiful story of hope, love, and community. Some Like It Hot is one of the funniest films ever made. The story begins when two musicians, Joe and Jerry, accidentally witness a crime by dangerous gangsters. To save their own lives, they decide to dress up as women and join an all-girl band. Along the way, they meet Sugar, played by the iconic Marilyn Monroe, and try to keep their secret identities safe. Why watch it? First of all, it's hilarious. The situations get crazier and crazier as Joe and Jerry struggle with high heels, dresses, and the constant threat of being found out by both the band members and the gangsters. Second, the timing of the jokes is brilliant. Every conversation is filled with funny lines that still make people laugh today. But it's not just silly humor. There's a sweet side, too. The characters learn about friendship, acceptance, and how pretending to be someone else can reveal who you really are. Plus, Marilyn Monroe's performance is captivating, adding warmth and charm to every scene she's in. If you want a comedy classic that's full of laughs and a dash of romance, Some Like It Hot is a must-see. Sunset Boulevard, 1950. Sunset Boulevard tells the story of Norma Desmond, a once famous silent film star who dreams of making a big comeback. One day, a struggling writer named Joe Gillis stumbles into her mansion, and she convinces him to help her write a script that she believes will make her a star again. Why is this a must-watch? First, it offers a gripping look at what happens to people who can't let go of the past. Norma Desmond lives in a world of fading photographs and memories, unable to accept that times have changed. Second, the film has a spooky, almost ghostly atmosphere. The big, empty mansion feels haunted by old Hollywood glamour that has long since faded. Third, the acting is fantastic. Gloria Swanson's portrayal of Norma is dramatic, emotional, and unforgettable. Another reason to watch is the reflection on fame and how quickly it can disappear. It's a cautionary tale about the cost of stardom and the dangers of living in a fantasy, with its shadows, twists, and iconic lines like, "I am big. It's the pictures that got small." Sunset Boulevard remains one of the most intriguing classics ever made. Double Indemnity, 1944. Double Indemnity is a classic film noir that sets the bar high for suspense and dark storytelling. It follows an insurance salesman named Walter Neff, who is tempted into a deadly plan by the seductive and cunning Phyllis Dietrichson. Together, they plot to murder her husband and collect a big insurance payout. Why is it a must-watch? First, the atmosphere is tense from start to finish. The shadows, dramatic lighting, and sharp dialogue give the movie an edge that keeps you guessing. Second, the characters are layered and fascinating. Walter isn't just a bad guy. He's an everyday person pulled into a web of deceit. Phyllis, meanwhile, is one of the classic femme fatales, dangerous but irresistible. The movie also deals with guilt and how one wrong choice can spiral into disaster. Roman Holiday, 1953. Roman Holiday is a sweet and charming romance that takes place in the lovely city of Rome. Princess Anne, tired of her royal duties, decides to sneak away and explore the city on her own. She crosses paths with Joe Bradley, an American reporter who smells a big scoop when he realizes who she really is. Why is it a must-watch? First, Audrey Hepburn's performance as the princess is magical. She brings innocence and grace, making you root for her right from the start. Second, Gregory Peck as Joe is the perfect mix of a kind-hearted gentleman and a curious journalist. The moments when they ride a scooter around Rome are lighthearted and fun, capturing the city's beauty and spirit. But it's not all laughs. The film has a bittersweet side, exploring freedom, duty, and the importance of honesty in relationships. Watching Princess Anne experience everyday life, like getting her hair cut and eating gelato, shows how sometimes the smallest joys can mean the most. If you want a story that feels like a vacation in a gorgeous city, mixed with humor, love, and a dash of real life, The Roman Holiday is a must-see. Rebecca, 1940. Rebecca is an Alfred Hitchcock masterpiece that tells the story of a young, shy bride who marries a wealthy widower named Maxime de Winter. She moves to his enormous estate called Manderley, only to find it overshadowed by the memory of Maxime's first wife, Rebecca. Though Rebecca has passed away, her presence is felt in every room, and the new Mrs. de Winter can't escape her shadow. Why should you watch it? First, it's haunting in a way that feels both romantic and chilling. Every corner of Manderley seems to whisper secrets. Second, the characters draw you in. You feel for the new bride as she tries to find her place, and you wonder about Maxime's hidden pain. Third, Hitchcock's direction builds suspense expertly, making you question what actually happened to Rebecca and why everyone still fears her. The eerie housekeeper, Mrs. Danvers, adds another layer of tension. She appears obsessed with Rebecca, keeping her room exactly as it was. This creates an atmosphere where you can't tell friend from foe. If you enjoy stories where romance meets gothic mystery and every moment seems loaded with secrets, Rebecca will keep you glued until the final reveal. North by Northwest, 1959. North by Northwest is an exciting Alfred Hitchcock film that follows Roger Thornhill, a regular advertising man who's mistaken for a secret agent. This mix-up sends him on a wild chase across America, from the busy streets of New York City to the towering faces of Mount Rushmore. Along the way, he meets a mysterious woman named Eve Kendall, and together they try to figure out who wants Roger dead and why. Why is it a must-watch? First, the sense of adventure is huge. Plane chases, hidden identities, and near-death escapes make this film feel like a roller coaster ride. Second, Cary Grant's performance as Roger is smooth and charming. He brings humor to the most dangerous situations, which keeps the movie entertaining. Third, the iconic scene where a crop-dusting plane tries to take out Roger is still considered one of the best action sequences in movie history. But beyond the thrills, it also has clever twists. You're never sure who to trust or what the true motives of certain characters might be. If you like spy stories filled with suspense, clever dialogue, and a dash of romance, North by Northwest is an absolute classic you won't want to miss. High Noon, 1952. High Noon is a gripping tale about a town marshal named Will Kane who's forced to stand alone against a gang of dangerous criminals. The action takes place almost in real time, leading up to a showdown at noon. When the clock keeps ticking, the tension builds, because you know trouble is arriving on the noon train. Why is it a must-watch? First, it focuses on courage and duty. Even though the townspeople beg Will to leave for his own safety, he won't abandon them, even if it means facing the bad guys by himself. Second, the music and the ticking clock create suspense that has you on the edge of your seat. You feel the weight of every minute passing, making it impossible to look away. Gary Cooper's performance as Will Kane earned him an Academy Award and is still praised for its honesty and grit. Plus, Grace Kelly plays his new wife, who wrestles with fear and loyalty throughout the story. High Noon isn't just a Western with shootouts. It's a story about moral responsibility, standing up for what's right, and never giving in to fear. If you love tales of bravery, this is the film for you. Rear Window, 1954. Rear Window is another Alfred Hitchcock film that puts you in the middle of a thrilling mystery. The main character, Jeff, is a photographer stuck at home with a broken leg. Bored and restless, he starts watching his neighbors through his rear window, noticing their daily routines and little dramas. But then he thinks he sees something that might be a crime. Why should you watch it? First, it's a masterclass in suspense. You only see what Jeff sees from his window, so you feel the tension building as he tries to figure out if a neighbor really committed a terrible deed. Second, the movie is about curiosity and boundaries. When does simple people watching become snooping? Third, the film stars James Stewart and Grace Kelly, who share excellent chemistry. Grace Kelly's style, wit, and courage make her stand out as she helps Jeff investigate. Rear Window also explores themes of trust and how well we truly know the people who live near us. It shows how a small observation can grow into a big mystery. If you like suspenseful stories that make you question what you see and who you believe, this classic is definitely one to add to your watch list. On the Waterfront, 1954. On the Waterfront is a powerful drama that takes place on the docks, where tough gangsters control workers through fear and intimidation. The story follows Terry Malloy, a former boxer who's haunted by a bad decision. He could have been a champion, but instead, he took a dive for the mob. Now he's torn between staying loyal to the gangsters or doing the right thing. Why watch it? First, Marlon Brando's performance as Terry is legendary. The famous line, "I could have been a contender," shows the pain and regret that weighs on him. Second, the film shines a light on corruption and how it affects ordinary people who are just trying to make a living. Third, there's a strong moral dilemma at play, which keeps the story gripping. Terry's courage to stand up against wrongdoing, even though it puts him in danger, makes us root for him even more. You'll also see how friendship, loyalty, and love can guide someone out of a dark situation. The raw honesty of the story and the intense performances by the whole cast make On the Waterfront a movie that feels both real and inspiring. If you want a classic about fighting for what's right, this one is a must. The Philadelphia Story, 1940. The Philadelphia Story is a sparkling film about a high society wedding filled with misunderstandings, surprising guests, and witty conversations. It stars Katharine Hepburn as Tracy Lord, a wealthy socialite who's about to marry a dull but safe man. But when her ex-husband, Cary Grant, shows up with a sneaky journalist, James Stewart, the wedding weekend takes a chaotic turn. Why is it a must-watch? First, it's packed with humor. The characters trade clever remarks, teasing each other in a way that'll make you chuckle. Second, the love triangle, or even square, in this story keeps you guessing. Will Tracy marry her fiancé, get back together with her ex, or end up with the journalist who truly sees her? Third, each character has something to learn about themselves, especially Tracy, who realizes she might be too judgmental of others. The film explores themes of forgiveness, change, and how sometimes people aren't quite what they appear to be. With its star-studded cast, it's fun to watch the interactions sparkle on screen. If you like romantic comedies that are smart and lively, The Philadelphia Story will bring a big smile to your face. An American in Paris, 1951. An American in Paris stars the amazing Gene Kelly, who also co-directed the film. Set in the City of Light, this musical follows Jerry Mulligan, a happy-go-lucky American painter trying to make his mark in Paris. He meets a lovely French girl named Lise, and soon romance blossoms with a backdrop of stunning dance numbers and catchy tunes by George Gershwin. Why watch it? First, the dancing is spectacular. Gene Kelly's grace and athletic style make every sequence feel vibrant. The film's centerpiece is a dazzling ballet number that runs for nearly 17 minutes, showing off the bright sets inspired by famous French painters. Second, the music is top-notch, featuring classics like I Got Rhythm that will have your toes tapping. Third, the story captures the magic of Paris, from its charming streets and sidewalk cafes to its art and culture. All About Eve, 1950. All About Eve is a sharp drama about the bright lights of the stage and the shadows lurking behind them. Margot Channing, an acclaimed but aging actress, befriends a young fan named Eve. At first, Eve seems sweet and helpful, but slowly it becomes clear that she has big ambitions, maybe even bigger than her loyalty to Margot. Why is it a must-watch? First, the dialogue is witty and biting, filled with clever lines that reveal each character's hidden motives. Second, Bette Davis delivers a legendary performance as Margot, showing both the glamour of stardom and the fear of being replaced by someone younger. Third, the film shines a spotlight on ambition and jealousy in show business. Eve isn't just a fan, she's someone who will do almost anything to step into the spotlight. The tension grows as Margot realizes she's been opening doors for a rival, not a friend. All About Eve also shows how the public often only sees the star's bright, confident side, never suspecting the doubts and rivalries behind the scenes. Psycho, 1960. Psycho is one of Alfred Hitchcock's most famous films, and it changed scary movies forever. It starts with Marion Crane, who runs off with stolen money, hoping to start a new life. She stops at the quiet Bates Motel, run by a polite but odd young man named Norman Bates. Soon, eerie things begin to happen, and the movie takes a dark turn. Why watch it? First, it's incredibly suspenseful. Each moment is filled with an unsettling feeling that something awful is just around the corner. Second, the famous shower scene is one of the most iconic moments in movie history, shocking audiences then and even now. Third, Norman Bates is a character that's both sympathetic and deeply unsettling. He's not just a typical villain, there's more going on beneath the surface. Hitchcock's use of camera angles, music, and pacing keeps you on edge the entire time. Even more than half a century later, Psycho remains a masterclass in how to build tension and scare audiences without relying on flashy effects. If you're looking for a classic horror film that still feels creepy and surprising, check in at the Bates Motel with Psycho. 12 Angry Men, 1957. 12 Angry Men is a courtroom drama that mostly takes place in one room. A jury of 12 men must decide if a teenager is guilty of murder. At first, almost everyone thinks he's guilty, except for one juror who isn't so sure. As they talk, argue, and debate, secrets and hidden biases come to the surface. Why is it a must-watch? First, it's a powerful study of how people form opinions. Sometimes it's easier to go along with the group rather than think for yourself. Second, the movie shows how important a fair trial is and how each vote in a jury holds a person's life in the balance. Third, it's all about dialogue. With no flashy scenery or special effects, the tension comes purely from conversations and disagreements. You'll be on the edge of your seat, wondering who will change their mind next. Plus, 12 Angry Men highlights themes like prejudice, justice, and the power of one brave voice in a crowd. If you enjoy dramas that make you think and keep you engaged through smart writing and strong performances, this film is an absolute must. It reminds us that seeking truth can be hard work, but is always worth it. If you have watched all of these, I am going to spill out some of the lesser-known classic Hollywood gems that only a few people know about. The Night of the Hunter, 1955. If you want a creepy fairy tale vibe with a dash of Southern Gothic, The Night of the Hunter is your ticket. It's about two kids on the run from a sinister preacher. Yep, a preacher, who's after hidden money. Robert Mitchum's performance will send chills down your spine with his spooky singing and that love and hate tattoo on his knuckles. It's a weird blend of beautiful shots and nightmares, and once you see it, you won't forget it. The Lady Eve, 1941. Want a breezy comedy with a con artist twist? The Lady Eve features Barbara Stanwyck as a sharp-tongued swindler who sets her sights on a rich but clueless Henry Fonda. There's witty banter, hilarious misunderstandings, and just enough romance to keep things warm and fuzzy. If you love snappy dialogue and seeing a naive guy get bamboozled, this one's pure gold. Ball of Fire, 1941. Ever wonder what happens when a group of nerdy professors meets a sassy nightclub singer? Ball of Fire answers that question. Barbara Stanwyck, again, because she's awesome, plays a showgirl hiding out with 7 scholarly guys, including Gary Cooper, who are clueless about real-world slang. It's funny, charming, and proof that even the smartest folks can learn a thing or two about life outside the books. The Shop Around the Corner, 1940. Long before You've Got Mail, we had The Shop Around the Corner, a sweet romance about coworkers who bicker by day and unknowingly write secret love letters to each other by night. Jimmy Stewart and Margaret Sullivan have great chemistry, and the setting in a cozy little gift shop in Budapest adds extra charm. It's the perfect pick if you like old-fashioned romance with just enough tension to keep things interesting. Laura, 1944. If you're into stylish mysteries with a noir edge, Laura is a must. It starts with a detective investigating the murder of a woman named Laura, but as he looks deeper, he becomes obsessed with her portrait, and the twisty plot keeps you guessing. Dana Andrews and Gene Tierney sizzle on screen, and the moody atmosphere will pull you right into the story. Keep your eyes peeled for Clifton Webb's scene-stealing role, too. Well, this list is never-ending. Classic Hollywood created gems that will send you into a dream life even today. So we cannot finish this list here. If you want to see another list like that, do let us know in the comments. Also mention which one was your favorite,